Welcome back. This is part 4 for Introduction to Research Methods class. In this session, we will talk about factor analysis. Factor analysis basically is a family of techniques that examine the correlations among variables. In this particular case, variables means items that you administered with your participants. The purpose of factor analysis is trying to find out the common clusters, a group of variables that could be more similar than being different. And we call those group of variables, we give them an underlying meaning for that. The underlying meaning, it is a factor. We label them as a factor. Most of the time, we will give them some meaning and a constructor name for that. Typically, the factor structure, meaning how many factors, how does each factor node on the items, are guided by your theoretical understanding of your study. So it's more a trial and error process. Like we just mentioned, the factor analysis mainly is trying to reduce the number of variables. So that way, when you talk about relationships among variables, we can group them into different factors. Okay, a good example would be you have ask your participants 12 questions. We call them 12 items. Sometimes we call them 12 variables. So the 12 items, actually, each of them have 4 items are node on factor 1. And 4 node on factor 2, and another rest 4 items node on factor 3. So for each factor, it is the commonality among the 4 items. They are simpler. They are more common than being different from the factor 2 items. So if you think about your questionnaire, you ask people question 1, 2, 3, 4, and then sometimes we don't put the same factor items in the same block. We sometimes randomly order them, make sure your participants will pay attention to the order of your item, to the meaning of the items, instead of just do 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2 for the answers. Instead, we actually mix them up. So you can see in this particular case, your factor 3 actually was noted with question 1 and question 3, and question 4 and question 5, they are both noted on factor 2. When we say noted, it's meaning they grouped together toward factor 2. Now, so let's use a real example. This example is the Eysenck personality factor model. So according to this author, they believe the underlying dimension of personality has 3 dimensions. One is whether this person is extrovert versus introvert. Another dimension is neuroticism. And then finally, psychoticism. So when you look at the extrovert version versus introversion, they ask people whether this person is talkative, shy, sociable, fun. And then on the other hand, you see the neuroticism. You have anxious, gloomy, relaxed, tense. So you can see these 4 items are very similar together. And these 4 items are measuring the same conceptual idea. Similarly here. So the idea of a factor, it is trying to identify which item should be noted on which factor. How many factors should we choose?